But let's of course start with this big story from India, where India's Home Minister has chaired a high-level meeting in New Delhi today on the steps to implement decisions taken on holding the Indus Waters Treaty between India and Pakistan in abeyance. The 65-year-old treaty was declared suspended on Wednesday by India's Cabinet Committee on Security, citing Pakistan's alleged role in the Pahalgam terror attack. And today's meeting has decided on steps to put together a roadmap on the implementation of actions on Pakistan vis-a-vis the landmark treaty. The Water Resources Minister was present at the meeting besides other stakeholders. Now, in the Indus Water Treaty that was signed in 1960, India had received control of the eastern rivers, that is Ravi, Beas and Satluj, while Pakistan had got the western rivers, that is Indus, Jhelum and Chenab. Now, despite being entitled to the use of 18% of the basin's waters, India currently uses only around 10% of the water. The suspension marks a shift at India's strategy, with plans now underway to assert greater control over water flows into Pakistan. With the treaty now suspended, India is of course expected Now, India is, of course, looking at the options that it currently has, and this is one of the options that India has, of course, decided upon, to suspend the Indus Water Treaty. Now, remember, India had been very generous in terms of the clauses that had been a part of this treaty, and now, after 65 long years, this is a treaty that has been suspended by India. This is a treaty that had withstood even the wars that Pakistan had waged with India on this issue. And it now remains to be seen as to what the fallout of this will be, because remember, this is a very serious step that India has, of course, taken by suspending the Indus Waters Treaty. For a upper riparian state to say that the treaty is now off is a very serious matter. This was a treaty that was signed in 1960. The World Bank had mediated this treaty, and now India is mulling on the next steps that it will take. Remember, there is a water crisis that is already present in Pakistan. Pakistan has a problem of extremes. There is a water crisis. At the same time, there's also a problem of extreme flooding that Pakistan witnesses now and then. And Pakistan's hydropower supply is also potentially at risk. Nearly about 30% of its power comes from the hydroelectric dams that it has on these rivers. India is very carefully calibrating its response in terms of how it wants to proceed further in terms of taking things forward. Pakistan, of course, has been pretty adamant in the aftermath of the Pahalgam terror attack. It has not yet condemned the fact that 27 innocent tourists were gunned down in this brutal massacre. All right, now to give us more updates in terms of what's, of course, happening between India and Pakistan at the moment, we're joined by our my colleague Siddhant Sibil, who's joining us with more details on this. Siddhant, this is a big moment, the fact that the Indus Waters Treaty that had stood for 65 plus years, it was signed in 1960. India has now decided to suspend it. Give us the implications of this, because this is a treaty that had been in presence even though India fought wars with Pakistan. So it was good even during the time of war. But now things are so serious that India has decided to suspend it. What are the implications?
Well, essentially, we know that when it comes to the Indus Water Treaty, India has essentially put it on a suspension of freeze. There was a meeting that was led by the Indian Home Minister, Amit Shah, where other ministers were also present. And it is clear that India is not going to be part of the Indus Water Treaty. What next, essentially, in terms of will India build the dams? Because what does the suspension of Indus Water Treaty means? It means that India is not going to share any data on water flow. India is not going to be part of any meetings as was stipulated under the Indus Water Treaty of 1960. But also, India is free to use the water. Currently, the water flows its natural path. Will India build dams is the big question, because the Pakistani side has made it clear that it will see at the entire development, if this happens, as an act of war.
All right, indeed, Siddhant Sibal, thank you very much for joining us with all those details then. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.